Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to CCxRC. I'm back here in my mini RC crawler course that we built last year, and I just did some work out here. We've got a new box right here. The K5 Blazer has been out for a while. We're just going to do an unboxing here on the rocks. I've already been charging it up, but we'll show you what you get in the box and we'll get it on the rocks. We've already got some gates set, as you can see throughout here. I haven't hit any of these yet, as we've redone some of the layout and cut it in a little bit here more in the back, so we have more places to run on it. And we're just kind of building it as we go and changing it just to keep it fun, guys. So that's one of the things just to mention about having one of these courses is the more that you can keep it changing and fluid, the more fun you're going to have. So yeah, we're going to open this up and see what we got, and then let's do some comping. I meant to say crawling, but I said comping. I don't know why. I'm an idiot sometimes. I can't talk. Sometimes the words just don't come out of my mouth right, just like that. So there you have it, behind the scenes. Let's do it. All right, let's see if we can make this work. I picked this up at Reaction RC Hobbies here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I just really like these. I wanted this one here, the orange and white, but they didn't have it in. So I got the black one, which looks equally as good in my opinion. I kind of wanted either, so it kind of helped me out a little bit in that regard. As you can see, packaging like normal for them. Here's some of the specs. If you want to pause this and take a look at it, feel free. There you go. We're not going to do a full in-depth unboxing. Get a manual here. You get this with a little warning on the top. Beware collision to avoid appearance damage. So this is damaging the appearance in my opinion. So we're going to take that right on off of there. That's what I say about that. Body itself looks pretty awesome. Quickly go through the box of stuff here. You also get this little roof rack. I won't be using that. The radio, we are going to be using that. And you get like a light bar and stuff, so if you want to convert this into a truck. There's some license plates, some O-rings if you want to do oil-filled shocks, the charger, some tools, some screws, some clips here for shock adjustments, and a few things like that. So nothing we're going to use really out of the box today, because we want to get right to running. And these have two tabs that you push in the front here, pops the front, and two in the rear. It's going to pop the rear part off, and one cable to detach. That's the lights. So there, you can see it's painted the way it's painted. It's a hard body. Mirrors will break. That's why there's the warning on there. Little decal here on the windshield, keeping that nice and clean looking. I've already got fingerprints on the windows. Body itself looks absolutely amazing. And yeah, lights already rigged for the front. Here we can see what you get inside. The battery is strapped in. I just went ahead and plugged it in like this, and I don't recommend that. That's what I did, just to try and keep it as it was out of the box. I just ran a different cable that I had to charge it with. So this is exactly as it comes out of the box here for wiring everything. It's just, you got a servo here for switching gears. You've got the on-axle servo up front. Steering is going to be limited a little bit because of this screw being on the front side. Best bet is to take that screw out, put it in the back here to hold this on tight, just to give you more steering. It's a stop, like a bump stop to keep you from oversteering. Suspension feels all right. Tires have foams in them, are very rubbery, feel grippy. So hopefully they'll do well. It just stands really tall with these long shocks, which gives it clearance for these taller tires. Oops, that just pushed out. On-off switch is right there to reach up underneath. And you got your ESC. So plastic, 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 plastic all around. Kind of typical for these things, not a deal breaker. So it is 2-speed. These large motors do pretty good in my opinion. These Power Master motors. So we'll just see how it crawls overall. 4-linked. A lot more in-depth videos if you want to see those by other people as far as the unboxing goes. I got batteries, takes 4 AAA. Look at that though, it's a looker. My goodness, it looks good on the rocks. Especially if we get lower here. And that might even be our thumbnail right out the gate. I don't know, probably not actually. We'll find a better one. Hopefully before we break it. These are not supplied, you have to come with your own. I like these radios that don't have all the switches up here. It's just kind of a pain to go through the manuals to read it all and figure it out. And you never keep the manual with you and never remember what they do for drag brake and all that kind of stuff. But it is nice that it does have those features, but I prefer clean and easy like this. So powered on. It's not happy. There it is. Kind of a wonky start. All right, there. Kind of noisy. All right, let's get this thing set for some pictures and let's get rolling. All right, so this radio, like I said, does not have those buttons at the top. So what they do with this instead is you have, this is your trims and your dual rates. So there's throttle and steering, and it's used for both. Out of the box, it's set for trim. If you need to set like I did, my throttle trim was way off and it was in reverse. Set that. Steering was off too. Set that to center. And then now if I push the bind button twice, it'll start flashing. Now it's the dual rate mode. I can set the dual rate for my steering. If I want to turn it down and hand it to a kid, reduce speed. Or if I want to adjust my steering, turn it up or down, the amount of turning it'll do. So that you don't burn your servo up, or if it's not turning very much, you can get more out of it. The other thing that you can do is hit the reverse twice, and that's for your drag brake. So it goes in a grid here, 0% drag, 50, 75, and 100. So I'll probably set this one at about 75%, and we'll see how that does for now. Alrighty guys, here we go. Let's get some runtime with this thing. Real quickly, this bind button here is used to turn on and off our lights. So just tap it and it'll turn them on or off. That's one thing that I didn't mention. Also, this channel 3 switches between high and low gear. So we're going to be in low gear for most of our crawling. And we'll be doing this one-handed so we can film for you guys. Just trying to get kind of a baseline for how this is going to perform. Even with this hard body on, I'd say so far it's looking pretty good. These are lines that I've done with my 24 scale, so I'm hoping that that'll translate pretty well to the 18 scale as well. Oh, we high centered it. Gotta come to the right more. There we go, get tires on. First casualty. First casualty. I've been working on this. You can see it's dug out back here. So I lowered all of this area to have some different steps in it. All right. Gonna bring it down the hill here. Need to remove the screws on those steering part of the axles and move it to the back. Like I mentioned earlier, that'll help with some of the steering. We want to see about high centering on some of these rocks. This one I thought might be a problem, but it actually turned out okay. Hold on to that edge. All right, so we're not really gauging reverses. We're really more going for the obstacles themselves. I'm not counting if I hit gates. These are just set up to kind of push lines that I want to be able to try and make, because I'm going to be doing this with several different vehicles to kind of see how they all handle. Oh, I like that line a lot. So yeah, like that gate hit, I'm not worried about. It was able to do the obstacle, get through here. Gonna try and hook on that and spin it. A little reverse. So some of them are different. Some have more dirt around them, more just rock, and seeing how they flex and if it's gonna wanna roll. Plus things like this are at the bumper kind of hitting. This is definitely more of a scale looking vehicle, so it's gonna have a little bit harder time than some other vehicles that aren't a scale. So that's what you get with the hard body on these. A lot of these 18th scale is a little bit, I'm just gonna check this, clean this up. There's a weed here. I need to get back out here and finish weeding. I've been weeding it. All right, we come up through here. This is another section I've just added some new rocks to. So this stuff's nice and packed. It's been rained on a lot, so it should have some traction in that clay. Here you can see where I've added new stuff. I need to water it, but I didn't want it to be super wet and muddy. So I'm waiting. So there's some dry stuff in there until it gets locked in. We'll see how this will get through here. This is a new rock. It's a really cool, just one rock with a ton of gnarliness to it. Oh, bummer. There we go. Just a little bit of speed to get through it. So you can see, look at that. It's just nasty stuff to get hung up on. In fact, we're hung up right now. Ah, that one didn't make it. I did that with my Gladiator 24 scale and it did all right. I was wondering if this would be about the same because it's pretty close to the same wheelbase, just a little wider. But again, I did do all this stuff with the 24 scale and that one's still brushed, so I thought it'd be a kind of a fair comparison. But it does have some brass and other upgrades that help it out. This is box stock, so I'm actually quite impressed so far with how it's getting through here for a stock truck. I know if this was like a stock FCX24, we'd probably be struggling more with some of this stuff. But we'll have to test a stock one on this too and just see. But it's nice and smooth, I'll give it that. In the low gearing, lots of throttle control. You can really creep it. The steering's not bad. Again, I need to try it with the screws moved, but I want to show out of box performance. This is probably going to want to roll here. I'm probably just going to drive it down just to save it. There we go. We'll bring it back up. There, we avoided a rollover. Now we're dragging a stick with us. Still see if we should set this up. Yeah, let me just get that out. Stick removal was a success. This is a fun new section I added here. Wants to roll, but this is going to push it back more level. Oh, it fell off. Didn't get that back end up. Oh, now we're in struggle bus, super struggle bus. All right, let's try again. I know it can do it. It's got to be able to. There we go. Come on. Oh, it pulled it down again. Maybe we'll just let the back end ride through like that. Yeah, that'll work better. All right, so this is one of my favorite obstacles. I'm not setting my gates for this favorite, but I'm going to hit it now and then we'll come back around to this gate. But going through here is one of my favorite. Oh, can it get through? This hard body may be problematic. Normally we get tires up on and we kind of split this V. See if we can do it with this long bumper. There, we stretched the tires to get it. We got it. There it is. Nice. Box stock, you guys. Quite impressed with it right now. Especially considering that we haven't done anything to it. If we do oil-filled shocks with the mod they give with it, with the O-rings and fill them with some oil, that'll help with the bounciness of it. This body really shifting like crazy. So if we did, if we remove the back half of it, like is available to do with these, that would help as well. There's lots of ways that we can make it perform better out of the box for free. There's all my play stuff out there, ready to go and try out this course here that I've set. Again, these gates are super wide, but I know what I'm trying to do as far as where I'm trying to place my tires, so hopefully I'll be able to do that with all of them. This is just for high center. Oh, it didn't make it. We did high center. Now we bumper stuck. Let me just reset where we came up from. Same idea here. Try and stay to the right a little more this time. That rock's gonna push us though. Yeah, that's problematic. And then the mirrors too. That would have probably gotten out of there okay. Let's just pull this down for a second. Still going for the same spot. But we'll see if that mirror doesn't hang us up, if it'll let us keep going. Oh, nah. All right, so that's a problem for this truck. We'll see if other ones are able to make it when we do our kind of shootout. And then we're gonna come up here, cross the rock. Oh, hard body life right there. And try and split this like so. And we got to choose an ending. There's 2 to go down. I was going to try to come up one of them. So I think this one on the right is the one we'll go down, because there's definitely not going to make it back up it. It's too steep. The other one's possible. But again, it's another split here. Got to get tires on. Kind of ride the gap. Oh, drop. Oh no. So that's a doable line. This just happened to fall because of the, I'm going to say hard body is going to be my explanation for that. Here we're just struggling for traction, kind of a bit of a hill. So we're also going to take this up and run it at reaction, see how it does on that course. We have a comp there tonight, and so we'll be able to do lines that we know we did with our 24 scale and know how this handles. But so far it's doing pretty good. There's a couple of these that are more struggle for it, and I think if I get a good approach I might be able to help it out on this. Again, loose dirt and a hill here, and then the hard body struggling to get up on here, and the bumper catching. Again, FCX24 made this line. That one's sitting right up there. But it's got some Patagonias on, small tires. They hook up pretty good. Got some weight down low. There we go. Different approach. Stuck in a different way. I guess we could just come up this way and go through the gate if we wanted. That's not how it's intending to, but it made it-ish until it got hooked. Now it's gonna struggle to not to roll off this. It's lifting. Will it drop? Yes. Nope. You drop that front tire down. I don't want to walk. All right. So pretty good. We'll do a kind of wrap up at reaction. I'm sure I won't be talking there because people around, it's just awkward. So we'll narrate our way out and tell you guys what we think of this thing, but pretty impressed with what it did here in the backyard. All right, here we are up at Reaction RC, and we finished up our comp for the night, had a bunch of fun. There was actually a lot of new people there for the night, and they had wide vehicles, and so it looked kind of like this going through the track, which is not very easy because the gates being set at 6 inches are for 24 scale, and they're very difficult. So once again, we're not going to be really looking to see about making the gates. We're just trying to make it on the path that was set up for the gates and over the obstacles that were set up for the gates as well, just to kind of get a bearing. Now, I will say my 24 scale did really awesome on this. So I think on this whole course I had one winch that I used for the whole thing. No reverses, no gate hits, just was able to drive it and do awesome. And this performed really well for a stock truck. I try to imagine what a stock CCx24 would have been like on a lot of this, and it would be a lot tippier. And some of these lines, I don't think it would really be able to, like, this is flexing out to really just stay together, which is great. The bumper is problematic for comp stuff like this, and anything where you'd be in rocks or big terrain, you know, that you have to get up big steps and whatever. So it just hangs out. It's going to catch on things. It's part of the realism of driving it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's pretty cool. I think that a lot of the others have the same issue. If you look at the Traxxas and some of the others, they've got bumpers on them. So it's not alone to this. And again, we're going to be doing a test with all of our 18 scale that we have, the different styles. We'll be doing this one, the TRX4M, the Furitech Fury Wagon, and the Hobby Plus. So high centering is still something I find myself doing, but this was high centering a lot of people, even in 24 scale. So not chalking that up against it. Overall, I am beyond kind of impressed with what I thought it was going to be, because I didn't really think that the Power Wagon FCX24 did very well, and this I think does very well. For an out-of-the-box rig, it's real good. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.